CNET. We usually talk about gadgets with you, but there's so much more going on with Uber. We wanted to get your take on that. I like it better when you're at the Flatiron studio than you know, in a headset, but we'll take what we got. Let's get into the latest developments first. A judge has asked a federal prosecutor to investigate the ride-hailing app and its potential theft of trade secrets from Waymo. Give us your thoughts and updates from your perspective.
You know, I think the idea that this was going to go into arbitration was sort of a long shot. This is what they were trying to go. This is, I think, another big blow to Uber, considering that there is a separate Justice Department probe into Uber's grayball tactics. So, I mean, this is more bad news. You know, Uber has courted controversy all year, and this is just another issue that's popped up.
Right, and just to specify too, they're investigating Uber, but then also investigating the specific engineer, Anthony Lewandowski, who is the one that has been accused, at least by Waymo, of stealing these 14,000 files and then using them to Uber's benefit. Roger, we also know one of the big stories that you've been following is another battle for Uber here. What the New York Times is saying, suffering a bloody nose in its fight to conquer Europe. And so explain to us too, in the backdrop of what's going on in the United States, there's also something going on in Europe. So give us the backstory on that.
Yeah, well, it's basically come down to defining what Uber is. Uber, you know, doesn't believe it is a transportation company. It's a service company. It connects people with cars. Now, the European regulators are leaning the other way, basically saying that no, actually, you should be regulated like a transportation company, like a taxi company, and follow those rules. And that can have a huge impact on Uber, because a lot of those regulations are onerous enough that they've said that, you know, they can't operate in cities or markets where those regulations are in place.
Somebody tweeted out that they think that Uber and Lyft's valuations are going to converge. You think this is that big of a deal?
In terms of, I'm sorry, in terms of their valuation?
Yeah, in terms of their valuation, yeah.
Right, so Uber now valued at what, $70 billion, and Lyft, I think in the latest round, valued at about $7 or $8 billion. Can they reach parity?
Well, I mean, look, there's definitely, that's still a large gap there, and Uber obviously has more scale. In terms of reaching parity, I imagine they'll get closer to each other. You know, between all the bad news with Uber, a lot of folks actually, you know, obviously the hashtag delete Uber and looking at Lyft as an alternative. There's definitely some parity there, but it's still a huge gap.
All right, when it comes to what's happening in Europe, I mean, on a scale here, how significant do you think it is to obviously what Uber is now facing in the United States? In terms of how big of a market is, the potential lawsuits, et cetera.
Right. I mean, it's kind of hard to gauge. I think the European ruling could have huge ramifications on how it operates as a business. But looking back here stateside, given that, you know, there's all these legal issues now, potential for criminal charges, that seems to be the bigger red flag to me.
All right, well, a lot going on here with Uber. And then, of course, the other big news item for Uber is that Travis Kalanick, Arianna Huffington, they are not going to be
at Code Media, yeah.
Right, and this is because at the end of May, right, the executives and the board are expecting this internal investigation into those claims of sexism and sexual harassment at the company. Uber saying that they want to talk about that as an executive team with the board before delivering those results to employees.
It seems like it seems like he's basically putting off the inevitable, because whenever he does the next interview, it's going to be brutal. I mean, Roger, does it make sense to you that he needs to put off any kind of interview, and that Arianna Huffington's now not going to talk about it until the report comes out?
Yeah, I imagine he's going to want to stay quiet for a while. There's just so much controversy surrounding this company right now that it's you know, it's tough for him to kind of go out there without anything to say officially. So yeah, I imagine any interview he goes through is going to be pretty brutal.
All right, Roger Cheng, executive editor at CNET. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching Cheddar on YouTube. If you want to see more of our videos, click on one of these over here and be sure to subscribe to our channel right down here.